Hello computer illustration and drawing, I'm Mr. Korb and welcome to artwithkorb.com. Well, thanks for joining me today. I'm sorry I'm not with you. I'm at a conference, but I've got a short little presentation for you in 10 seconds about what we're going to be doing today. So please pay attention and don't be messing with the computers while I'm talking to you up on the screen. I am on artwithkorb.com, so if you need to review some of what I'm talking about during the course of the class, by all means go to artwithkorb.com and follow along. Well, welcome. We are going to be drawing some animation sort of characters today and tomorrow. Last week what we did was we played with the line tools and we experimented with that. Well, today what we're going to do and tomorrow what we're going to do is we're going to play with some of the shape tools. Over here in the toolbar you have your rectangle tool, and if you click on it you can get rounded rectangle tool, ellipse tool, polygon tool, and star tool. Now the polygon tool and the star tool give you the options of how many points and how many corners. So if you want a triangle, you're going to click inside the window and drag. Whoop, that's not right. You're going to click on the polygon tool. If you click, it's going to ask you the radius, so how around it's going to be, and then how many sides. And if I want, like I said, a triangle, I can click 3. Now, if I use my direct selection tool on any of these, I can click on an anchor point. Whoops. I can click on an anchor point, and I can make it bigger, skinnier, shorter, and fatter. Or if I hold Shift while I'm doing this, I can enlarge it in proportion to what it was. Another really interesting technique is if I click on an object like that, I'm going to click and hold, and I hold Shift, Control, and Alt, I can copy that and duplicate it. And if I hit Control D, it's going to duplicate it again and again and again until I've got as many as I want. And so I actually don't want that many. Other tools to make shapes. We have our pen tool. And in this case, this is what vector imaging really is. You can click and click and click and click, and then I'm going to close it. If you notice, the pen tool then has a little circle underneath it. That means that it has closed the shape. I can click and close that. If I click and hold on this, I can add anchor points. So now I can, inside one of my paths, click and I can add an anchor point. And you notice that I've got some handles on here now. And so if I use my selection tool, I can modify that. And so now I'm starting to curve things around. In addition, I can delete an anchor point. So I can now, maybe I don't want this anchor point here. It creates a negative sign in the corner. I can click that off. And now I've changed that shape. And lastly in this section is anchor point tool. So now I can click on this. It didn't have any handles. So now if I click on it and I drag, I can create some handlebars on here. So now I can, using my direct selection tool, I can twist it and turn it and stretch it and bend it. So today what I'd like you to do is come up with some ideas for a character. Maybe you want maybe you want to create a dog or a cat or something like that. An ellipse tool, let's see. And I want to give him eyes. I'm going to hold Shift down. Oh, this is a curious character. I'm going to start with the shapes I've already got. Here's a guy with a big, gigantic nose. Very Picasso-esque. So here's the beginning of my, my character. I'll go in here and fill this in. Another thing I want you to play around with is I want you to play around with layers. I want us to become very good at this. So maybe my face is going to have a layer, and I can type this in as face, A-C-E. And then I want to create a new, I want to create a new layer. Where is that? Create a new layer. This will be layer 2. I'm going to title it body. And I can do that. And because I want the face to be above the body, I'm going to drag that down. Maybe I want a third layer to be feet. And I can do that. Notice it well, it doesn't always. I can drag that to the bottom because I want the feet to be under the body. Another layer could be arms and hands. Oops, I spelled that right. And I'm going to put that underneath body also because I want the body to stand out a little bit more. And then maybe my last layer will be, oh, I don't know, hat. Put a hat on my character, whatever you want to do. I want you to play around with 5 different layers in this piece. So we've got those tools. You know, as with everything else, I want you to experiment with everything that's over here, but I really want us to play around with tools today. Later on this week, we're going to be playing with more of these. You know, with all of this stuff, you can click on it and choose your colors. So think about the colors of your characters that you want. You can always go up to Window. Whoops, we'll be happy with that. You can always go up to Window and show your colors. You can go to Window and do Color Guide. So you can find all of this stuff to experiment and play around with up there in the tabs. Now, because we're going to be doing computer only, I'm going to make my screen color green, RGB, and that's about it. Let me see, hide options. Well, I think I'm going to close that window on accident. There we go. And there's my color palette. So enough of that. Today what I want you to be doing is working with Adobe Illustrator and playing around with these tools. Have fun with it, experiment with it, be very, very focused as you're doing this. Also think about how you can cut your shapes. I'll give him a smile for you because he's happy to see you. Think about how you can use your scissors tools, which remember is underneath the eraser tool, and you can cut lines and separate things. I want you to become very good at all of this. So I've now opened that up. Oh, and one more thing. I'm going to zoom in here on this, maybe. I'll get in here with my zoom tool. I'm just moving it around. There we go. If I have 2 open points, I've cut this, I can click on that. I'm going to hold Shift down and click on that. And then I'm going to go to, let's see, Object, perhaps, and I'm going to join them. So Object, Path, Join. One of the other things to notice is if you see a Control-J or something down here in the corner, that's a key command. I like to use key commands. I find them faster. Anyway, so that's your job today. You've got a character that you want to create. It can be, you know, an animal, a vegetable, a mineral. It'd be interesting to see you make a mineral character. But anyways, VeggieTales, there's your vegetables. So you've got all of that. They were probably computer generated too. Anyhow, we're going to be doing this today and tomorrow. I got most of your assignments from this past week. Some of you didn't turn things in, and I was up at 12:30 in the morning checking grades. So if you've got a 0, that's why. Some of you also didn't turn in your 100-line drawing, so make sure you do that. It's late, but at least want you to turn it in. So continue working with Adobe Illustrator, playing around with all these different layers. So I'm going to flip those colors. I want to give him a black iris and a red line around his iris. Pupil, rather. There's a kind of a goofy look there. Give him a big nostril. That's a terrible image. So we got some stuff going on here. I will be back on Tuesday to see where you are with this. I just want you to reflect at the end of the hour. So that's that. Have a good one. We'll talk to you later. Bye.